Okay, welcome to Halloween edition of the Day After Podcast, everyone. Yeah, here we are.
I'm your special guest, Negan.
Um,
I'll be here today.
yeah,
in
you
the
kind
place
of,
of Ryan.
yeah, you kind of went up to me. I guess I'm going as a WWE fan.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a WWE shirt. So yeah,
I figured, it would also be appropriate because I wasn't sweating for someone being, taken off a show since probably the Negan episode.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wow, it was so intense.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was just another crazy episode of Survivor, I'd say.
And to anyone that thought this season was going to be like a filler season, something bland, you are...
So far, they're wrong. They are wrong.
They are very wrong. I'm really enjoying this season.
The only thing that I am fearing is the merge of potentially one side just dominating. That is my only fear.
I don't know. It is interesting, especially because I feel more lines were drawn this episode, and more alliances were more secure.
Yeah.
But more of that later.
Yeah, but that all happens in probably a few episodes from now.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Probably
in like two episodes. Yeah. I'm assuming
they like doing it at 13 now.
Yeah, and also they don't want to have an odd number for Island of the Idols, one tribe going there more than the other.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing they're going to do it one more time and then do it.
Oh yeah. So, to start it up, now, Dean kind of had a little bit of saving grace. Maybe lines on at least the Laro tribe aren't as clear-cut because he got approached by Nora.
Yes. Nora came to him wanting to potentially get out Jamal and Jack.
Which, smart on her part because, if anyone is at the bottom of the Vokai alliance, it is her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I thought she was going to go very much like, I'm all Vokai now, but it looks like she's willing to cut them. And then Dean went ahead and told Jamal and Jack about
Nora does not seem like the person you want to team up with.
Exactly.
She's very much a wild card.
Yes. I think that was a good move on Dean's part.
Oh yeah, and then
because now they're both really going for each other instead of after him.
Yeah.
Or Karishma.
Well, I mean, then it'd be like, okay, next tribal, it could be Nora or Karishma, which Karishma was, I'm a little bit glad that the heat was off her this episode.
Yeah.
She's been,
she deserved, like, a break.
Yeah, because I know even on this one we've been talking about how bad she was.
She has gotten the most least valuable players.
Well, I mean, at least she gets a break this episode.
Yes. Yeah, there's not much to talk about her. She had no confessionals.
No.
She had very little screen time. I didn't even see her in the challenge, really.
Like, she was there, but...
she was there, but,
I didn't think she messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so, and then on the Vokai tribe, Aaron... when he's, because it's 4-4 and no one really wants to draw rocks because it's like a crapshoot at that point.
He doesn't feel like he's got those relationships where he's willing to go for it at that moment.
Which is, in that position, kind of smart on his part, given the circumstances.
Yes.
Because, because Vokai right now has the majority of, the OG Vokai.
Yeah.
And... when he said Elaine, I was like, no, don't. But
he was willing to throw Elaine out there, which, to be fair, she makes it to the end. She has a good chance of winning.
She does.
So, it makes sense why you want to start maybe thinking about getting rid of her.
Especially after this episode.
Yes. Because she had probably the best social game up to this point. Now she has a strategic notch that she can put into her belt.
Oh, yeah.
And that is deadly to have those two.
And then the whole taking the risk, but more on that when we get to Island of the Idols.
Yes.
But the reward challenge.
Yeah. I was surprised to see a reward plus Island of the Idols this episode.
Yeah, I guess that's because we thought, it'd be fitting too much in. Mm-hmm. But I guess, Island of the Idols... they
did it a lot faster.
They were smart because, her thing was all about, the next immunity challenge.
Yes, yeah. So they only had to focus like a couple minutes on that, and then they could go right back.
Yeah.
Which was nice, because I liked how they had the little hourglass, too.
Yeah, it's like you gotta make split-second decisions. And, I remember when they first did that in Survivor, it was... second chance. Mm-hmm. Almost like Game Changers. Well, they were close, and, there was, they were pretty close in, season.
Yeah.
and then like Wentworth, she had that split-second chance of like, everyone's focused on the puzzle, so like go back and get it.
Yeah.
And so like it's always interesting finding like, because like it's intense because what if you get caught? And there were moments in the immunity challenge where I thought she might get caught because she dropped it. Mm-hmm. She was down there for a while. I guess like, I guess in the heat of the moment, you're not really expecting it.
I thought Lauren, who was on the sit-out bench, was going to notice.
That would have been, maybe. But I mean, like, one, they were in a cage. Mm-hmm. Two, mass scramble. And I think Lauren, with, like, her not wanting to go to tribal. Also, I don't know where she was positioned. But,
yeah, exactly.
Like, she, like, because, those things.
You see someone suddenly break away from the group real fast. It can kind of look weird.
True, but I think at that point she was, like, everyone was, like, so focused on the challenge.
Yeah. I can see people possibly in there actually not. It was just Lauren who has yet again, I don't know where her vantage point was.
Exactly.
If maybe she was on the other side and there's too many bodies blocking and she couldn't see it. Who knows?
Yeah. Which I'm gonna give the challenge department props. This was a good one.
Yeah.
The sense of like not just like of how like things were done about carrying the thing, but also the fact of like it is forcing people to be in close quarters, so like Elaine has an even harder time getting it.
Yeah, it was not like okay, just make sure that you're on this position at this time and then you're good.
Yeah.
And it wasn't at the end, it was near the beginning of the challenge, so she only had that short period of time to be able to get it.
Oh yeah. And before we already talked about the immunity, but if we go back to Island of the Idols for a little bit, first off, Boston Rob, like doing what he did in All Stars, making a good shelter, which like.
Gosh, the mansion of survivor shelters.
I am excited to see what that turns into by the end.
Oh yeah, because they have nothing else to do. They may as well just be working on their shelter.
They don't have to worry about literally anything.
Yeah.
And then, like, I like how they were all, like, rooting for Elaine. Like, they were like, wow, like, she's pretty cool. Like, I know in some tribals they were like, she's talking too much or stuff like that.
Yeah, or she doesn't know anything.
But when they finally met her, they're like, okay, I see what, her appeal.
Uh-huh.
And then, like, I feel...
Well, I think they saw the stereotype or the caricature that is typical of Elaine, and they just assume that's her.
Yeah.
But that's not the full package. Like they didn't know everything that was going on.
Exactly. Like because tribal, I believe like it is an hour.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's about an hour.
And then like. So it's only like seeing that they're not like seeing Elaine, like talking to everyone at that point. And plus, at tribal, she's usually panicking.
Yeah, she's panicking, or she's trying to kind of say that she doesn't know because she doesn't want the other people who's out of the loop to know what's going on.
Precisely.
Yeah.
But speaking of in the loop, this is the first time outside of Island of the Idols that people have talked about Island of the Idols.
That is true.
Like Chelsea was like, so who'd you meet?
Yeah, you mean Elizabeth?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Chelsea's gone.
Sorry. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool because it was like, all right, so one, it's like okay, so like even stronger alliance, and two, it's like now that it's kind of like getting out there, soon people are going to be like, okay, so who might get advantages, and then people going to the Island of the Idols might be more of a target now.
Yeah, honestly, like, there might be an Island of the Idols, like, alliance that could potentially form of people who have gone there and are still in.
Perhaps.
A lot of them have gone, though.
Yeah.
There are people who are going.
I mean, I'm surprised Nora kept it... Well, Nora's not dumb. She's just in her own little world.
Yeah, she's... And she's also not very big a fan of Survivor, as we've known.
Yeah.
So...
But yeah, it was cool because, like, this was like, oh, crap. I like that it was, a block vote instead of like, an idol, because this way it was, like, a bit more, ooh.
I felt like they chose that specifically because it was going to this tribe.
Yeah.
Because they knew that there was that 4-4. They were like, this will be really interesting if we have the secret advantage be a block vote.
Yeah.
Because they knew going into it that Elaine was going to be going. So
yeah,
or someone from that tribe.
It depends, and it was interesting because like during this time, because sometimes I was like, how would I play this?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it was a 4/4, even if she wasn't discreet with it, I mean, well, at least in Elaine's point of view, drawings were long. She didn't think Aaron was going to flop or anything, so or that he was considering it. So it'd be like, all right, lines are drawn. I have this block vote. Maybe they might try and take out one of their owns or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was smart for her to keep it on the down low until tribal.
Yeah, which I'm glad she got it because now it's like, ooh, it shakes up the game.
Yes.
But let's not overshadow that Laro finally won something.
Yes, good for them. Dean came in clutch and got the final basket. He finally redeemed himself.
Yes.
His Division I basketball skills.
Yeah. I mean, they should have gave instead of Aaron, they should have gave it to Tommy.
I know, right? They they gave Tommy like one and he made one and then they passed it back off to Aaron. And I was like, what?
Yeah, but let's see. But I was like, good job. It would have been low key upset.
Yeah, because they were a mess at the start. It seemed like it was going to be another blowout.
Yeah, but they pulled through. They came from behind and then.
Yeah, because they made 3 baskets in a row, like just constant one after another.
And then they had that like momentum of like, oh, we can make it.
Yeah, exactly. And then Aaron missed like 4 in a row.
Yeah, I think it was the thing of like, because there is so much psychology that comes to competition, more so than actual skill, where it's like you can be really skilled, but if someone's doing better or you see someone catching up, it might scare you. It might be like, okay, now I have to. And then you take your eye off the prize, you start questioning yourself. It's like you put pressure on yourself, and that can really damage your game.
Yeah, exactly.
But if anything, Aaron not winning that for them actually put him in a better position.
Yes.
For the long haul.
Yeah, this was actually good that they went to tribal now, especially because they had that block vote.
Oh yeah, I mean it's always interesting because some people like Redemption Island, they did it just purely to get rid of Russell. But there is something to be gained from, throwing a challenge to get rid of someone.
Yeah.
Like it's risky.
I'm not a big fan of the throwing challenge, but because they knew that they were getting someone out from the opposing alliance, that it was fine.
But I mean,
and because it still seems very much like it's Volkai Laro. Even though they kind of sometimes are like, no, Laro is dead.
Especially after this tribal.
It seems like Volkai is very strong, and Laro would be stupid to just go
I think
with
at
them.
this point especially, because when Aaron was like, I know she has it, but am I going to stick with Laro? I was so like, don't do this. I was like,
God damn it, Aaron.
I was like, when Star-Lord was about to punch Thanos in the face, I'm like, don't, for the love of God.
Yeah.
I was wide and I'm like, you better not. And in my notes, I called him a son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Because I was like, no, do not get rid of Elaine.
Yeah, no, that was going to be very scary because Elaine is great. She is great TV. Yeah. She's just a great person.
She's so likable.
And that's why she's got to go at some point. There's no way she's making it to the end. There's no way.
It honestly depends on what people see as more of a threat. I do think she might make it halfway through the merge, mostly because at that point they need to worry about physical threats. Because if those guys are always winning, it's only a matter of time where all right, well, we can't get rid of Aaron or we can't get rid of Tommy. We might as well get rid of such and such because they're a strategic threat or something like that.
Yeah, but to be fair, in recent Survivor, there's a lot less. Let's get rid of the physical threats early and more. Who's going to win this game at this point? Let's get rid of them now.
Fair enough.
We still get a lot of those.
True.
I could see Elaine being the first jury member.
I just don't. It's because she hasn't really stuck out on a lot of the challenges. so that's another thing to consider, because even if they're not, like, if we're talking puzzles, endurance, or something like that, because there's more than just, obviously, like, physical, like getting through an obstacle course. They have different stuff.
Yeah.
But
she was also like upset that she wasn't participating in the reward challenge, and she was saying that they were thinking that she's weak, but like the thing is, you send like your second weakest on the reward, so you have your weakest one sit out of the immunity challenge.
True.
So they weren't saying she was the weakest, they were just saying, hey, this isn't for you.
yeah, and it worked out for her.
Yeah, 100%. Like if they sent Lauren instead to Island of Idols,
it would have been a much different tribal council.
Yes, Elaine would have gone home 100%.
Unfortunately, but it's interesting because we had more whispering.
Yeah,
at tribal.
I'm so over the whispering.
I think that's just part of. There have been things in recent Survivor since if we're gonna talk post-season or 31 that have become sort of the meta, and when things kind of go awry at tribal, whispering is kind of the thing to try and make sure everyone is on the same page, because before that, they did that in Game Changers, the whispering.
That was where it happened.
That's
a lot.
Where it began.
That was Whispergeddon, if I've ever seen it.
Yeah. That's where it began. And then, so ever since then, it was like, all right, we can whisper during tribal. If everyone's doing it, then, we're not being as big of a threat. If everyone's whispering, nobody's whispering,
Yeah, exactly. But it's just, I feel like at some point, Jeff has to reel them back in and be like, okay.
At some point, yes. But,
because the fact is, now it's just happening, and it's not even, like, a big deal anymore. Now it's just like, okay, that's just something that happens to tribal. It's tribal now.
It's part of the staple, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't like that. I think it's good when it's like
with surprise, but like surprise. Now it's like it's kind of like with people. I mean, as the game evolves, so do playing styles, in the sense of where things that were like fake idols, that used to be like something that only a few characters ever attempted.
Yeah.
Now it's like each episode, or not each episode, each season
has someone
trying to fake an idol, or could potentially like given a kit to make a fake idol, or something like that. But this tribal, I was so like glued to the TV. I'm like, is Aaron gonna flip? I don't think since Game Changers, because that had a lot of my favorite contestants, was I like so nervous for someone going home.
Yeah, I have to be honest, right now, I don't want anyone to go home. Like, I really like almost everyone. Like, I was hoping that they targeted Dan or Lauren, because I'd rather them go over Jason.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like Lauren was Lauren, I feel like she's definitely going to be a lot more vocal, because she's proven that she's not going to take crap. And especially this, like, the look on everyone's face on the old Vokai, they were all just so angry.
They were angry and devastated.
Yeah, and then just like, if you notice, Sandra, she was like this because she was even like so nervous, because she was part of that thing in Game Changers. She was part of the whispering, and part of like when Malcolm went home that season, like she knows, she has experienced, and then seeing it, especially with someone that she just started to know and started to like. Potentially be on, it's like, oh no, like it was so nerve-wracking. Yeah,
Rob had to actually shush Sandra because she was too loud.
It was so good, because I was like, oh god, who's gonna go?
Normally, I watch Survivor like a reclined position. This, I had to kind of be up and was just like, what's happening? Come on, hurry up, I need to know.
I know, I was like, the suspense was literally killing me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I try not to be the... I try not to say literally...
It figuratively was killing you. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I did, like, after that episode, I kind of had to like recollect myself. I was like,
yeah, it was crazy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually watched it at like midnight last night because I was out doing a writing session and everything, and so I got back and I watched it and was like, damn, now I have to go to sleep now.
Yeah,
but after watching that,
I watched it this morning mostly because right now I'm working a haunt, and obviously those take a night, and I was like tired at the end of work. I knocked out, woke up. First thing I did was watch Survivor.
Yeah, no. This season's not disappointing yet. For me, there hasn't been a dud episode.
No, there has not. It's been so great. Likable cast.
Yes, very likable.
We like the twist. Like, it could have been a thing of like it could have went wrong, but the twist has been interesting.
Yeah, it's. There's a variation that they do for each episode.
Each week. Yeah.
So depending on what the schedule is for the episode or whatever, they're able to kind of adapt.
Yeah.
So definitely. I definitely don't want this twist coming back ever.
I think this is a one and done type of deal.
Yes, they brought it back. I think it would first off be worse than it is now.
I think because I don't think they would bring back Boston, Rob, or Sandra.
Yeah, but they'd bring it back to other idols.
Which, I mean, granted, there are a plethora of great, survival contestants that have won. But, it's like, out of you pretty much got the big two.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Who they bring back, like Parvati and like Jeremy Collins?
Maybe Cochran.
Cochran? Maybe, yeah. That would be funny. Parvati and Cochran on an island together.
I'm not sure what their relationship status are, but it'd be interesting if they were like if they did like a season where I know they had Bronze versus Brains versus Beauty, where it'd be like that kind of like division where it was like Brains and Beauty, and then like they be on the Island of the Idols.
Yeah, that would be really funny. and depending on what tribe goes or whatever, then that one would give that would be Survivor. Yeah, Survivor. You gotta take notes of these.
But yeah, Jason. He had potential. He did. I think they got out the strategic threat, which was smart in the sense of like they probably didn't want to go back to tribal again, and I mean because there's potentially one more tribal before the merge.
Yes.
And like if they do lose, I'm saying if I was on Laro's side, as much as I love him, I'm going after Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy is probably the threat right now because you're assuming merge is coming up. This is the point where you get rid of the biggest threats.
Yes.
Is right before the merge.
Yeah. Which it's going to be interesting next episode because for Vokai, lines are drawn. And for Laro, there could be some wiggle room because of the whole Nora thing.
Yes. But of course, Nora can also go home next episode, and which is crazy to me for the fact that Jason went before Nora. How did that?
I'm be interested in her, like reaction next episode.
Yes, because she had a thing for him. There was a potential.
Yeah. All right. So I guess now we have. Speaking of which, our crappiest player and our best player.
Okay.
So crappiest, I'm gonna have to say Nora strictly because.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there was a lot of bad gameplay in this episode. It was just mostly she made alliance maybe with the wrong person.
That's it. And I think it wasn't a bad move on her part.
No.
But it was just then Dean didn't want to be with her.
So as a result, it was bad.
Yeah.
But overall,
I could see myself making that move if I was in her position.
And then best one, I got to give it to Elaine.
Yeah, there's no way anyone else. Because first off, she's the first person to use an advantage from Island of the Idols.
Yes.
She's the first one to successfully use it too.
And not only that, it literally changed possibly the entire outlook for the original.
The entire
Laro
game
in general.
Yeah, the entire game changed because of that one move.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then, I mean. It's pretty cut and dry with who it was, because there was nothing wrong on Vokai's part, or like the original Vokai when they went to tribal.
Yeah, they played as they should and pretty well. It was just because of the advantage.
Yeah.
Also, so I'm still keeping track kind of our fantasy drafts. You've lost 4 people so far, and I've lost 2.
Well, the one that really matters is the winner,
which is Tommy.
Tommy.
I think it's Tommy.
I don't know.
It's hard for me to see it not being Tommy right now.
I still think it's hard because, if, the new Vokai goes back to Tribal, like I said, I'm gunning for Tommy.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose, but I don't think they're going. I think it's going to be Lero.
We'll see.
Yeah. We'll see next week on another edition of the Day After Podcasts.
Happy Halloween, everyone.
Yeah, trick or treats, smell my feet,
give me something
good to eat.
That's low calorie.
Is it? Is it really?
I mean, I like bananas.
Yeah,
They're low calorie. They're sweet.
Okay, bye.